Let's get to big topic number 2 of the day, which is you, Joshy.
What's up?
You're pissing me off.
Good.
And that's continued for now almost a week. So we've just got it. We got to, like I said, we're good at addressing things head on in this program. That's what we're going to do now. So let's date back to last Thursday. That was the MLB trade deadline. The Brewers do nothing sexy. They don't add a starting bat. They don't add a starting pitcher, which they don't need, but they don't add anybody of like super great value. They add a couple of hurt pitchers. Shelby Miller might contribute come the playoffs. But all in all, Brandon Lockridge ain't moving the needle a whole lot for a team that had the best record in baseball at the trade deadline. Friday morning and Friday afternoon on both Jen, Gabe, and Chewy and Mr. Irrelevant, it was the three of us. Hunter was still on his vacation. It was myself, it was Josh, and it was Will. And Poo-Poo Pants Joshy spent the entirety of Friday talking about how, well, the Brewers, they're showing us they don't want to win a World Series and that they're due for a backslide and that they're going to have to regress at some point because nobody's ever been this good before. And it was annoying then. The Brewers have done nothing but win since then. The Brewers have not lost a game since the MLB trade deadline, including another big win last night over the Atlanta Braves. They will go for the
big win.
They won by a lot, is what I'm implying.
Gotcha. A margin of victory.
Correct. Yes, that's what I meant by big win. Not like they should beat the Braves.
Yes.
I agree with you there.
They're sub 500, right?
If they're not, they're right around it. They are a very underwhelming team this year. But the Brewers going for the series sweep later today on Wednesday when we record this. But the Brewers have done nothing but win. And Joshy lit the internet on fire. I believe it was Monday, the day I was out.
I think so.
When you said on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, and I'll allow you to make your point for yourself, but just to sum it up real quickly, it was effectively no team is doing what they're doing. They are not going to continue doing it. They are going to regress and underwhelm at some point. Right? Is that fair, pretty much what you said?
Yes. That for us to have the expectation of what we've seen for the past 60 games to copy and paste it throughout the rest of the season, I think would be a fool's errand. Quite assumptive, or you're making assumptions there, and that regression, because of the amount of data we have around baseball and its long history, would tell us it is highly unlikely that there wouldn't be a course correction at some point here.
So here's what pisses me off about that.
Yep.
I'm going to give you 3 analogies right off the rip.
Oh, it's a triple analogy?
Triple analogy time. Because I think this is indicative of where your head is at, and I don't think it makes a lot of sense. Analogy number 1. Based on previous Powerball lottery winners and numbers, can you predict tonight's Powerball drawing perfectly?
One, that's an erroneous argument. One is a lottery. One is a game played with, if not the exact same rules, many of the same rules.
Sure.
Yes.
But I guess my ultimate point is you are relying on past history to dictate what the future holds.
Well, you're a baseball guy here. Let's have a baseball guy talk for a second.
Let's do it.
Is not previous history of the sport the most important factor in determining the sport? Don't you rely on, in baseball, more than any other sports, things that have happened in the past to tell us about the current and future?
That's a loaded question, but I will say baseball is a game of slumps. It's famously said that if you succeed 3 out of 10 times, that's great in the sport. That's Hall of Fame level. There's a lot of highs and lows. I personally experienced a lot more lows than highs.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a game of waves. You're going to get hot, you're going to get cold, and it's impressive and seems nearly impossible how hot the Brewers have been. National media, we have Big Cat tweeting about how the Brewers just won't lose. He's a Cubs fan. So yeah, I mean, they haven't hit a cold streak since the first week of the season.
And I guess what I'm not trying to say, because I think it would be incorrect, is I'm not saying the Brewers are going to play at this level for the next 2 months.
Well, to be fair, you did say that.
I think they're good enough to win a World Series, which I don't think you think.
I think they are going to have a good shot in the playoffs. I would say the team lacks the necessary depth to... When the game changes in the playoffs.
I agree with that.
Same thing they say about basketball.
But I think
it does in football a little bit, not as much.
Hold on, I want to finish my analogies. I was really proud of these.
Well, the first one was as bad of analogies I've ever heard.
I think we're only going to get better. We're only going to get better.
So that was...
We're going, from worst to best.
We're building confidence with analogies.
What'd you have for dinner last night?
What did I have? Just some chicken and rice meal, I believe.
Okay, so history tells me you will have chicken and rice only for the rest of your dinners for the week.
Again, not.
Yeah, that one's bad. You got worse.
Seems a bit extreme.
And also, you're making my point by saying if you have it once, you're probably going to have it a lot more, which would then rely on me saying historically, if I'm somebody who has it today and had it in the past, I'll continue to have it in the future. So your point is they're winning baseball games. Doesn't that mean they should win more baseball games? No, the point is that I can use previous data to tell us things are likely going to happen the way they have in the past.
I'm flipping a coin. That's a tails. That's a tails. And that's a heads. What's the next flip going to be?
You realize random chance and 50-50 is different than a sport. When you play a game, the Brewers facing the Braves today.
Yep.
Sportsbooks give you a number.
Correct.
Odds to win.
Yes.
Is that not indicative of, based on the matchup, one team is more likely to win than the other?
Yes, but you are pulling from
flipping a coin.
But you are pulling from previous data. And I guess the point I'm making with the coin
I'm pulling
is,
from previous and current.
Despite the fact that I flipped it 3 times and 66% of the time it was a tails.
So the important thing I've learned here is you don't understand what I'm trying to communicate at any level. That's what I've learned.
So communicate it.
And it's going to be very hard for you to understand it because you think a flipping of a coin.
Yeah, it's a 50% chance no matter what.
And baseball are similar.
I think that the team has proven to you this season.
When the Packers play the Browns, is it 50-50 to win, or are the Packers more likely to beat them?
Any given Sunday, Joshy.
Yeah, exactly. You realize the folly in your statement. There was a lot of things you could have said there, and you chose none of them.
So, you're right. I'm trying to be a dork. But I guess my ultimate point is, I don't like the philosophy of going, hey, back in 1998, this team did this, so that means the Brewers can't win. When all they have proven to us all season long, any baseball fan in the country, I don't care if you're a Red Sox fan, if you're an A's fan, if you're a Mariners fan, if you're a Cubs fan, what the Brewers have proven to us is this is a very good team and a very well-managed team that finds creative ways to win baseball games. And I don't think it's dependent on what they did in 2018. I don't think it's dependent on what they did in 2021 or did not do. It's a new season. It's unpredictable. That's the beauty of sports. I can't sit here and tell you who's going to win the World Series, but what I can confidently tell you is the sample size we have this season, the Brewers have proven they are good enough to compete with anybody.
There's two main things here. Just because you don't want to believe something doesn't make it any more or less accurate. Because it offends your sensibility that I say this is an unsustainable way of winning at this rate, at this frequency, does not invalidate my point because you choose not to believe it. Baseball and its history is indicative of the entirety of the sport. It is the sport that relies on its numbers. Hell, a batting average is what you did in the past.
Correct. But that doesn't mean you can't hit a home run if you're
an on-base percentage is about what you did in the past.
Okay,
and it is the rules that vary dictate that sport. So me applying what's happened previously in the sport is not invalidated because you choose not to believe it.
But you saying that is directly contradictory of what Andrew Vaughn has done this season. He stunk for 7 years in Chicago, and he comes to Milwaukee, and he's just in a better environment. He has better hitting coaches. Like, I don't think that's fair for this year's team. I don't think you can look at 2018's lack of success and maybe disappointment when they didn't make the World Series.